What characters actually need their signature engine? Starting from 1.0, let's go. Okay, let's begin with Ellen's engine. Good for her. Hugo's engine is better for her. She doesn't really need her own engine either. She can use Brimstone. My honest recommendation is, if you really want your Ellen to do more damage, if that's the only thing you care about, wait for Hugo's engine to come back. Other than that, you can just use Brimstone and you will be fine. Next up, we have Yuan's engine. You do not need to pull for this engine. Is one of the worst limited engines in the game. Do not pull for it. Just use Brimstone or any other attack limited engine you have. Qingyi's engine is good for her. It's also useful on trigger, but I do not recommend pulling this engine for your trigger. If you want Qingyi to be more useful, you could go for it, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal that I would really recommend it. Don't really see the point for pulling this engine. Watch a little ad that is gonna make money. If you're looking for a digital marketplace for all things gacha, U7Buy has you covered, including Zenless Zone Zero and many other games. For Zenless top-ups, you can save up to 25% compared to other platforms. And it's super simple. Just enter your account ID and your order is delivered instantly. U7Buy is trusted by a massive global user base with over 100 million customers and more than 30,000 reviews. If you want to make the most in the upcoming Zenless banners, click the link in the description or pinned comment and use my code JazzRoy11 for an overall 35% discount. Jane does not need her signature engine. She can use Whipping Gemini just fine. If you want more damage, you can definitely go for this. The problem with Jane's engine is that it's very reliant on how well you can manage the stacks. You just have to keep dash attacking. It's not a hard thing to do, but if the enemy is not aggressive, it will feel awkward. That's why I think if you want more consistent damage out of your Jane, you can possibly go for Alice's signature, because that one is just better than Jane's signature, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. If you have this engine, just keep using it. I would say don't pull for it. Okay. This engine is good. The problem is that I think personally it's just not worth what's it giving you, and you could just go for a support. If you have other supports, other limited options in your account, maybe you could go for this, but at the same time, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. It's not something that you're gonna feel like it's missing in your account. I feel like the only relevant defensive unit is Zhao, and if you want to pull an engine for Zhao, you're better off just using her own signature. And if you're not pulling Caesar, again, I don't understand why you would pull for this signature when you're not pulling for Caesar. I don't recommend this engine at all. The same way I don't recommend pulling for Caesar. Burnice Bayou's signature's engine is really good on her. If you like Burnice, pull the engine. If you don't like Burnice, or if you're fine with whatever you're running now, just keep running that. Yanagi, where the fuck are you, bitch? Okay. Yanagi, in my opinion, does not need her signature engine at all. Personally, I keep using my bomb homeless Yanagi and she just keeps giving me really good damage, but at the same time, if you want even more, definitely go for this. I think it's better than pulling for her mindscapes or something. Her engine is pretty good for her. Also, if you like playing Grace, you can put this engine on that little useless bitch as well. Other than that, pull if you like Yanagi, don't pull if you don't care. Stacking up to 4 times, this effect expires when the target recovers from a stun or is defeated. What the fuck? If it's defeated, of course it's fucking over. What the fuck?
What if the boss dies and comes back like Sekiro?
Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't work. This is a bad engine, I'm telling you.
Lighter. It helps him to fully activate his buff. It's also really good if you like playing characters that are fire or ice. And this is for any kind of character like Yidhari, Banyue and stuff like that. They can use this engine as well if you put it on the stunner you are using them with. For example, you're using Fufu with Banyue. This engine will work. The element is not universal. It only works for ice and fire. I don't really see the value on pulling for this. If you like lighter, if you really like playing those ice and fire characters, you could go for this, but I feel like you could just save for a premium support. Miyabi is really good regardless if you have her engine or not, but at the same time, this engine is motherfucking crazy. Like, oh my fucking god.
It makes her broken. It makes her broken.
It makes her a lot better, it makes her a lot more reliable, it makes her a lot more flexible. Definitely think about pulling for this engine over any kind of mindscapes or shit like that. Like, don't go and be like, okay, I'm gonna do M2 Miyabi and you don't have her engine. Okay, next up we have Harumasa's engine. Now, this little joke of an engine was really good back in the day, but the problem is that first off, I think this motherfucker Harumasa is never coming back. This engine is really good on Harumasa, but it's not the best electric attacker engine, it's not the best statistic attacker engine. If you have Seed, if you have Anby, or if you have any other attacker that you pulled for their engine, you can just use that on Harumasa. It's not that big of a deal. I would not recommend pulling for this engine. Next up we have Evelyn Chevalier. Now, if you're not pulling for Evelyn, there's not really point in pulling this engine. I know this engine is notorious for being a universal stat stick, but hey, if you don't have Evelyn, I wouldn't tell you to go pull for this. So if pull for this only if you have Evelyn. Next up we have Severed Innocence, signature W engine for Anby, my baby girl. Now this engine is really fucking good on Anby, and it's also a really good stat stick any other attacker because it gives you so much crit damage. It gives you 48% crit damage for the advanced stat. It's a lot of damage. It's a good engine for Anby and it's a really good stat stick, but again, I would not recommend pulling for this if you don't have Anby. Only pull for this if you have, but if you do have this engine, you can use it on pretty much all attackers in the game. Just remember, this gives you a lot of crit damage but no crit rate, so you might wanna run crit rate on disc 4 or something like that. Overall, really good engine. Trigger's engine is a very interesting case. I would say if you are not planning on pulling for this engine, I personally would not recommend pulling for Trigger either. At the same time, Trigger is very good still without her engine for Rupture teams and Anby teams. Other than that, kind of not that good without her engine. So Trigger with her engine is kind of like a makeshift Astra or something like that, because Trigger's engine is really good, really high value. I would say some people pull for Trigger just to get the engine. Pull for this engine, 100% recommend. Vivian Banshee, this little bitch doesn't really need her engine. She can just use Whipping Gemini. Not really recommended, but it's a good engine. If you want her to do more damage, go for it, I guess. That's all I gotta say about this. Hugo's engine is really good on him. It's also a really good stat stick. It's the best engine for LN2. It's a bit better, but if you want Hugo to do more damage, pull for Lighter or pull for Dialyn first over pulling for this engine. Fufu, Fufu does not need this engine. It's only useful if you want to max out the buff, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal anyway. You can miss out on the buff. It's just a bunch of crit damage. It's not that big of a deal. Honestly, just forget about this engine completely. Bitch, Yixuan, where the fuck are you, my bitch? Okay, Yixuan's engine is in a similar place to Miyabi's engine. It's a really good engine for her. It's a really great stat stick for Rupture characters. The value of this engine dropped a little bit when they released that one A rank free to play engine last patch, but it is still a really good engine. I would recommend it if you have Yixuan.
Should it be considered a specialist like the Eve engine for Ruptures though? Like the same way Eve's engine's supposed to be for all attackers.
Oh, no,
it
no,
should
no.
also be
Only the case if you do have Eve, but if you don't have Eve, why would you pull for that engine? Yixuan is still fucking strong without her engine. Like, she does her job completely fine. My friend has a free to play Yixuan. He just pulled for her teammates. He pulled for Lucia and Dialyn.
Personally, since I run like a really bad Yixuan team because I don't want to use my Qingyi on Yixuan, I want to use Qingyi for my Ellen, I go like Trigger, Pan, and without her engine, I don't think I would clear 3 stars.
You either pull for the engine and play with the bad team, or you don't pull for the engine but you play with the good team. Metanuki Morpheus is Yuzuha's engine. It's a good engine for her. I would not recommend pulling for it. You can use Kaboom or Whipping Cradle. It's not that big of a deal if you don't have this engine. If it was me, if I wanted my Yuzuha to be better, I would just pull for M1 or M2 or some shit like that. I would not pull for this engine. Orpheus's engine is really good on her. If you have Orpheus, if you like Orpheus, use this engine. pull for this engine if you want. If you have Evelyn's engine, you can just use that. There's not really that big of a difference. Yidhari's engine is really good for her. If you don't have her, there's really no point. It's a really good engine for Yidhari. Moving on. That little customer service girl, where the fuck is her engine? Where is it? Ah, I can't find it. Okay. Dialyn's engine is really good on her. Energy regen, which she needs. It also gives the whole team crit damage. It's good, but I would recommend M1 Dialyn over pulling for this engine. The engine is cheaper, but the M1 is better, so you choose. But I will not recommend this engine, especially if you don't have that many supports. Save it for the supports. I would pull for Dialyn's M1 over this. I would just keep using Hellfire gear, but would pull for Dialyn M1. Banyue's engine is really good on him. If you don't have Banyue, there's really no point in pulling this. If you like Manato, you could use this, but the problem is that Manato is not an X special attack user. Zhao's engine is really good for her. It gives attack and it gives HP. It also gives crit damage. It's a really good engine. Maybe be comparable to tier 0 supports like Yuzuha and Astra and shit like that. Definitely you could go for this engine, but at the same time you don't really need it that much. I personally did not pull for this, but you could pull for it if you want Zhao to be a lot more universal. Yeah, it's a really good engine, and at the same time she's the best character in the game when it comes to damage and shit. Pull for this engine if you like Shunguang. If you don't have Shunguang, you don't really need this.
Huh, this engine is also good for Nekomata.
Who gives a fuck about Nekomata?
I do!
You're a pedophile.
I don't have this character.
Lolita Express.
No.
Next up we have Sunna's engine. Sunna's engine is really good on Sunna. It's a pretty good engine. You could possibly use this on Yuzuha as well, but again, if you want Yuzuha to do more damage, it's just a luxury engine. If you want to gamble, go for it, but it's not that big of a deal. And lastly, we completely forgot the goat herself, Lucia. Lucia's engine, I would recommend it over Lucia M1, but other than that, that's kind of it. It's a really good engine for Lucia. It's a really high value engine, especially if you have a lot of Rupture characters in your account. This is a really good engine. We talked about every limited engine in the game. I completely forgot Alice's engine. Alice's engine is really good. It's good on her, it's good on Piper, it's good on Jane, it's good on Grace too, surprisingly, because of the Anomaly mastery that it does give you. Alice can still use Whipping Gemini and will be fine, but if you do not have this engine on Alice, Alice will not be that much better from Jane. Overall, an engine I do really recommend if you play physical Anomaly characters. Really good. Wow, I also completely forgot Seed's engine. Seed's engine is really fucking good as an stat stick because it ignores defense. I do not recommend pulling it if you don't have Seed. Very self-explanatory. Nice. And if I had to give you a rule of thumb, is that hey, you like a certain DPS, you want them to do more damage, pull for their engine. If there's a support you like, you can probably skip the engine. It's not that big of a deal. The only two supports that have really good engines are Lucia and Trigger. Other characters, I think you can skip the engine. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. If you don't want to pull for that many engines, I think this is a really good rule of thumb. If you want to wail on your supports, I would recommend pulling for their mindscapes like Astra M1, Lucia M1, Dialyn M1, shit like that, instead of pulling for their engines. Bye bye bitches.
Subscribe!
Subscribe!